Welcome back to 02 Million Crypto. My name is GC. We are live. Yes, we are live. Joining me as I'm about to go home after a physiotherapy session. Today, let's talk about how respect doesn't really exist. And even if you are a respectful person in life, and even if you are loved by your family, friends, and you have a good relationship with people at work, people will still end up disrespecting you. And not to say that just because someone disrespects you means they don't love you or, overall don't care about you. The reason I say respect doesn't exist is because even if you are a respectful person, understanding that respect in life is conditional and at times temporary. And obviously, in certain scenarios and with certain people, respect does exist. Okay? I'm not saying that it's impossible for respect to not be present in a relationship, whether that be with family, friends, loved ones, or at work. But when you have the mindset that respect doesn't exist, it protects you from being hurt, from not in terms of someone that you love treating you in a way that you don't appreciate, or you never thought they would treat you this certain way. The idea of understanding that respect doesn't truly exist and that it's only there in the moment, it protects you from lashing out or looking at people a certain way, looking at people in a way that you thought they would never act like. It also protects you from holding grudges. So, for example, this is a crypto channel, and we are going to, tie all this in back into crypto, but hear me out and try to understand where I'm going with this. So, I've been disrespected in many aspects of my life. And like I said, these people that have disrespected me, some of them do love me and some of them do show me respect on a day-to-day basis. But there has been times where obviously I've shown people disrespect at times too. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I'm the type of person that's never disrespected anyone or treated anyone in a bad way. Because we all have days or moments or times in our life where we feel like, you're not having a good day and you take it out on somebody or you disrespect somebody just because, even if they didn't deserve it. The reason I say respect doesn't exist in terms of work especially is because money has now become more important than people and humanity to some people. The idea of capitalism overall is good because without capitalism, you wouldn't be able to own anything. You wouldn't be able to, take control of your own assets or, have any ownership or be able to buy and sell things at your own discretion. But there are a lot of people on this earth that you need to understand that money has become more important than feelings, relationships, just overall humanity. And I'm not saying everybody in the world is like this. I'm not saying that everyone in the world is going to treat you in a way where, money has a higher power over you as a human being. But you will run into a lot of situations like this. Now, let me tell you some of my personal experiences with the jobs that I've had in the past and how I've been disrespected in the past at work. So I'm 27 years old, and throughout my life, I've only had a handful of jobs. I mean, I have friends right now that have had 1 million jobs. Like, there's one friend that I have that's had so many jobs since, we were in high school till now. He seems to like to bounce around from job to job. And, I'm not saying that he's not successful. I'm not saying that, that he doesn't know how to make money and he doesn't know how to hold down a job, because he has held down jobs, for a period of time. That's, not just saying I'm going to work somewhere and then just leave and quit. But for my own personal life, I've only had a handful of jobs since from high school till now. And the reason being is because I don't like bouncing around from job to job. I like, kind of having a home base of where I like to make my money. And in this gig economy, a lot of people, they bounce around from job to job because as soon as something goes wrong, or as soon as something isn't going the way they hoped it would, or the money isn't as good as they thought it would, or the situation with their work isn't as good as they thought it would be, they want to leave, maybe even without lining up another job before they quit, and just saying to themselves, I can make money and be treated better somewhere else. And what I've learned is it doesn't really matter where you work. You're always going to run into maybe a manager or just certain people that you interact with that don't treat you the way that you feel like you should be treated. Now, my first job was I was a dishwasher for a Denny's when I was 16. And I'm going to go through the problems I've had at every job. And on top of that, you got to understand that when you're young and you don't really have mentorship or no one really looking out for you in certain situations or occupations, you're going to make mistakes as a young person, and a lot of people that are around you are going to treat you, especially if they're they're not related to you or have no ties to you, they're going to treat you like you're just a number. And when I was working at this Denny's job as a dishwasher, the Denny's would get really busy and I'd be alone a lot in the dish pit, and I'd be just getting slammed with dishes. And I thought to myself, no one's really helping me back here, and they're pressuring me to get all the dishes clean and do all these things. And there were days where I would kind of have to throw things around in the dish pit. And when you're a young kid, no one ever tells you if there's no one there to mentor you, or there's no one to really guide you, you're going to be trying to rush and do things to the best of your ability, even if you are taking kind of these shortcuts. And I remember the reason I got fired from that Denny's was because it was a really busy day, and I tossed something from almost across it was a relatively small dish pit, so it's not like I threw something really far across the room, but I kind of tossed one of those inserts for a sauce into a sink, and it kind of hit the spout and made a loud noise. And my boss came in and he's he asked me, "Are you throwing things?" And I said, "No, I'm not throwing things, but I kind of just tossed something into the sink, because I'm trying to, knock out these dishes in a quick way because no one's really helping me." Well, he fired me on the spot. And I remember pleading to him saying, "No, listen, I like this job and I didn't mean to do that. And, no one's really helping me." But he didn't really care. And he still fired me. And in hindsight, I kind of deserved to get fired because you shouldn't really be throwing things. But no one, like I said, no one really told me as a kid, even if you are, behind the 8 ball for whatever job that you're trying to do, you shouldn't really try to take shortcuts because that could cost you your job entirely. And in hindsight, yes, that was my fault. But instead of giving me another chance and trying to explain to me, you shouldn't do these things. Listen, I was only 16. And, when you're a young kid, you don't really understand the implications of what it takes to really, do well and hold down a job and be successful. So, instead of my manager saying, you shouldn't do this and that, and it's not a good idea to try to rush even if you are behind and call someone for help, he didn't do that. He just fired me on the spot. And that was my first real lesson, being fired at a job. And I realized to myself that even though I did get fired, and even though I probably deserved it, that job, the way I was being treated, there wasn't really a lot of respect at the job, because I wasn't getting help, and they would, try to rush me and force me into doing things in a very fast-paced way, and it just wasn't a good work environment, and which led to my actions, which led to me being fired. So at the end of the day, I did deserve it, but also at the end of the day, there wasn't really respect for a young kid that didn't really have a job before and didn't really have anyone to kind of guide him and lead him to being successful, even if it is just a dishwashing job or an entry-level position job. So that's the first example of just, a situation where you're working for a place or somebody that doesn't really have a lot of respect. And why should they, right? They don't know you. You're just a random person that they hired to do a very low entry-level job, and that's the way life is. And, I've had other jobs since then. I worked at a banquet hall, and at that banquet hall, I got threatened by another bartender. I was bartending, right? And another bartender literally threatened to smash a glass over my head. And I went to the manager and told him, this guy threatened me and this and that. And instead of really taking my side and saying, hey, do you want to if he really threatened to smash a glass over your head, do you want to call the police? Do you want to because when you're a young kid, you don't really know what the right decision is to make. And I told him, and the reason he said he was going to smash a glass over my head, this other bartender, was because we were bartending a party, and I heard a guy ask for a drink, and I poured him the drink I thought he said. And in hindsight, he did say the drink that I poured him. He was just a little drunk. And the other bartender, for whatever reason, he kind of just snapped on me. And, he's like, oh, you don't know what drink you're pouring for the guy? Maybe you shouldn't bartend. That was his attitude. And basically, that one quote-unquote mistake that I made turned the whole night upside down. Me and this bartender, we were having a great time. The party was kicking, vibing, everything was great. And one little incident, turned this bartender that was a lot older than me at the time. I was only 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever age I was, still a really young kid, basically still a kid. And a grown man was literally threatening violence on me and threatening to hurt me. And when I went to my manager and I told him, he didn't really do anything about it. He kind of just said, oh, okay, I'm just going to separate, you from this bartender. If you ever work again, you'll work on the other side of the hall. And in hindsight, if, my manager really cared about humanity more than money, he didn't really want to take it to that next level. And, if the same kind of thing happened to me today, maybe I would have called the police, because he was threatening to smash a glass over my friggin' head. He even grabbed the glass, and at the end of the night, we were splitting up our tips, whatever we were owed. We were supposed to split it down the middle. And he was counting more money for him than for me. And then when I told him to count the money again, that's when he really got angry, and that's when he grabbed the glass and threatened me. So again, still being a young kid, being threatened by some guy you don't even know that you're just working with, there's another example of being disrespected at a job. And yet, yes, even though it wasn't the managers disrespecting me, you're still a young kid, and then when you go to the managers, they don't really do anything about it. I still had to work in his presence. So, as I got older, I realized that it doesn't really matter. You're going to run into people like this that you're going to work with, that for whatever agenda, whatever reason, they're going to treat you in a way that's so disrespectful, and you're going to have to either live with it and accept it if the managers don't do anything about it, or you're going to have to, quit, because they're not going to fire this person over that. They just want their labor, and they want, to business to run. They want the show to go on. They want to keep the show on the road, even if there is problems between, employees that they've hired. I also had, at that job, I had a guest toss a drink in my face. I got spit at. I had, I was working at one of those bars where you pull the gate down when the bar is supposed to be closed. I had people whip glasses at the gate. Like, I was in a couple very dangerous situations when I worked at that banquet hall, and you know, nothing was really done about it. So I'm just trying to give examples of how you could work somewhere and, you know, dangerous or disrespectful things can happen to you and you won't see justice for it. You're not going to see, you know, someone come to your rescue, or you know, someone try to get justice or reprimand these people that do these type of things to you, because, you know, it's almost like a free-for-all. You're on your own, and, you know, like the show must go on. As I said, like, they care more about the business thriving and succeeding more than they care about you being safe or you being disrespected at work. And, you know, I've been in other situations since, like, even at the job I work at now, I literally have this guy, I'm not sure why, but he seems to be harassing me for whatever reason. And, you know, I've told the managers a bunch of times and told them, like, listen, this is what he's doing. You know, he keeps bothering me. One time I was walking, and if I didn't move my hand, he would have crushed my hand with whatever thing that he was pushing across the floor. Because I work at a grocery store, and he was like pushing a big cart full of boxes and food, and he was walking, and I was walking, and like, I saw him coming a mile away, and my hand was like kind of on the outside of the hall, and his cart was on the inside of the hall, and I was watching him, and at the last second, if I didn't move my hand, he would have completely crushed my hand with the cart that he was moving. And I told my managers that this is how this guy is acting, and he's harassing me, and he's doing all these things to me. He doesn't really treat anybody else like this that I've noticed. And, you know, nothing really happened to him. I even said to my managers, listen, I want to kind of put something in writing, because this guy's treating me in a certain way that, you know, makes me uncomfortable and kind of makes me feel unsafe. And I could tell my managers were kind of like doing everything in their power not to get it to that level, like not to make me, you know, put something in writing and complain about this guy that I work with. And I also had a few other things happen to me at this job I work at now, but that's neither here nor there. Like, I ran into some problems with you know, the owner or whatever. You know, I got sick for a few weeks, and I brought in a doctor's note, and he told me it wasn't good enough. And, you know, he was basically, you know, accusing me of stealing things that a manager told me I could take. Like, for example, like, this one manager told me that I could take a bottle of water if I wanted, like, or whatever the case was. And when I took the water, my owner called me to his office and said, why do you think you can just take water bottles for free? And I told him, listen, one of your managers told me I could. Like, she told me I can have a water bottle if I felt like it. And, you know, he accused me of being a thief. And when I told him that the only reason I was taking the water was because one of the managers told me I could, he kind of just brushed it off, basically disrespected me, and told me, like, you know, that's not good enough. And, like, this is my final warning or whatever. So, like, I've been disrespected at my jobs that I've had throughout my life for a long time, and there's a reason I'm saying all this. I'm just trying to give life experience and situations, you know, for people that maybe are young and are getting into the workforce and don't really know what to expect. Maybe you haven't ran into someone, and don't get me wrong, like, I have had jobs where, you know, people were great to me and respected me, and, you know, like, I've ran into other bad situations at other jobs I've had, but like I said, like, there's also been great people to me, and not everything is all doom and gloom when you work at a workplace. There have been, you know, fantastic people that I've met and worked with at almost every job I've had. So these situations are, you know, you're not going to run into the same type of situation with everyone. You're gonna find situations where people are good to you at times. So it's not all doom and gloom when you get out there in the workforce. And, you know, I'm gonna tie all this back into crypto, don't worry, but this is kind of just like where I wanted to start the video. And, you know, crypto, you got to work for your crypto, right? So, like, talking about work and talking about, you know, situations when you get out there in the real world and try to make money, and the way people are, and how, if they respect you or disrespect you. I believe it is important to talk about these things, especially for younger people. So, disrespect doesn't also come only in the workplace. It also can come with friends, family, and, this is a crypto channel, so I'm going to keep it to like more of a work-related kind of subject. But, even your parents, even your grandparents or your friends and your family, like really good friends, and, even your significant other, I've ran into situations like this throughout my life. Like, I've had, as much as I love my parents and my grandparents and some of my best friends and, ex-girlfriends that I've had in the past, I've had them disrespect me to a point where I thought to myself, why do I even have these people in my life? Like, why should I be respectful to these people and want to keep them around me, even if they are nice to me and do great things for me at times? If they're going to treat me with disrespect at certain times, why do I have these people around in my life? And like I said, there has to be a certain level of forgiveness and, tolerance with these people, because nobody's perfect. And I'm sure at some point in my life, I disrespected my parents, I disrespected my grandparents, I disrespected my friends and loved ones. Maybe not to the same degree that they did to me, but that doesn't really matter. Like, nobody's perfect. And if you do love these people and care about these people, you're going to want to keep them around in your life. You don't want to just live your life, all alone and just ignore loved ones and, cut people off out of your life that truly do love you, even if they do have days where, you're going to feel like they aren't doing things that are in your best interest, or hurting your feelings, or, really screwing you over, or stabbing you in the back in some way. And bear with me, I am going to tie all this back into crypto. This is just, something I feel like I had to get off my chest. And to be honest, I was feeling frustrated about, being disrespected by someone, especially in the workplace the other day. And if I would have made this live stream then, I probably would have been a lot angrier, and I wasn't really in the right headspace or frame of mind to make the video at that time. And I probably wouldn't have had such a cool head to make this live stream, to kind of like just get things off my chest in a more like rational manner. So I'm kind of glad I took a few days before I made this video, but I still feel like all these points are valid, and, it's a good lesson to be had, and to be, to teach, especially, like I said, especially younger people that don't really know what to expect when they're getting out there in the workforce. And like I said, the only way to get your hands on more crypto is to, work and, find a place where you can accumulate wealth to invest. So the reason people are going to act like this in day-to-day life is because everybody has their own agenda, and you're not sure what people's agenda truly is. You're going to meet people in life that are focused on money or politics or religion or whatever the case may be. And any of these things could be the reason why someone, disrespects you or imposes their beliefs or acts a certain way towards you. And you're not going to ever truly understand the agenda of a person completely, even if you feel like you've known them your whole life and you know everything about them and why they do the things they do. People change, guys. Like, you could have someone that's great to you your entire life, and one day they're just not the same anymore. And you're probably going to see that, especially with like significant others, or if you have a girlfriend, or vice versa, if you're a girl and you have a boyfriend and they end up changing on you, or they don't act the same or treat you with the same kind of love and respect like they used to. Like, everyone has their own agenda, and as people go through life, they're going to experience things that make them act maybe differently than they used to. So these are kind of the reasons why you should just kind of take everything in stride in life and just try to keep moving forward. And, in this, crypto journey that we're all going through, trying to work and invest and, keep our head in the right place to, like I said, like, life is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So, you know, even if you do work at a job where things, you know, negative things happen to you, if you decide to stay, you know, getting up the next morning and dragging yourself out of bed and going to that job, it can be difficult. So, you know, try to keep a cool head, try to, you know, you got to try to kind of take things in stride and not get so caught up in the agendas and politics of other people around you. You got to try to, like, you know, continue working and going through life with a cool mind and a cool head, and, you know, continue to work even if everyone around you is, you know, getting under your skin or on your nerves or treating you in a negative way. So I feel like that's important to talk about. Everyone does have their own agenda, and you're never going to know exactly what they're thinking or why they act the way they do. So you got to just try to, you know, just like that cliche saying, keep calm and carry on. And let's get into one of the more important points, where people in life are willing to do, people in life that are trying to get ahead in this world, and I've been guilty of myself, people are going to be willing to do dirty, evil, or even illegal things to get ahead and to get money. And, you know, you're going to see more of this as time goes on in life. You're going to run into people that really don't care about morals, ethics, values, and principles. They're going to just try to do anything to increase their bank account or to build wealth, even if it does mean doing illegal or shady things to get ahead. And not everyone is going to, you know, try to make money the righteous way or try to live a righteous life. People are going to try to steal from you. You're going to run into people that try to do, you know, try to do you dirty, all in the name of money. There's a reason they say that money is the root of all evil. And, you know, you can do great things with money, but a lot of people, you know, they'll do evil and shady things to get money, and then when they get that money, if they aren't caught, if they aren't, you know, if they don't see justice for that, the negative actions that they've made in this world, they may continue to do even more evil things with their money once they get their hands on it. So, you know, when it comes to being disrespected in life, you may get people that are willing to do the ultimate form of disrespect, which is lie, steal, or kill just to get their hands on a few bucks. And, you know, when you're young and impressionable and you don't really have a mentor or guide or any guidance to not do things like this, it can be easy to run into these type of situations yourself. You could run into a situation where you feel like you aren't getting ahead in life fast enough, and think to yourself, well, I could just go rob that old lady that's walking across the street, steal her purse, and that could help me get ahead in life. That could pay for, you know, weeks worth of work for food and gas and whatever I want to buy. But guys, that's not the way you want to live, because, you know, I've been there. I've made mistakes. I've done, you know, shady things in the past just for money. And that's just me being a young, dumb kid that, you know, doesn't understand life. There's people my age that are still willing to do these type of things, and, you know, when justice is served and, you know, they get in serious trouble for doing something all in the name of money, maybe they'll learn, maybe they won't. But it's better, you know, for someone to try to teach you these things from the mistakes that they've made rather than live them out yourself. You never want to go through life, you know, and think to yourself, yeah, well, I can just steal from somebody to get ahead. I don't need to work. I don't need to do anything righteous. I can live however I want to live, and, you know, no one's going to catch me. I'm never going to face justice for it. Guys, you can't live like that. You got to say to yourself, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm going to do things, you know, to try to get ahead in life, but I'm going to try to do it the right way. And that's the way you want to live. You don't want to be the same reason you don't want to be the person why I'm making this video, for the people that disrespect you and for the people that, you know, are willing to do horrible things to others just for money. Money is the root of all evil, and once you understand that, you're going to try to stay in your own lane and try to, you know, make money and, you know, acquire value the righteous way. And I believe that is the right way to live. So let's tie this all back into crypto. And, like I said, it's important to understand, these type of things, because when you are investing in crypto and you are investing money and working for a paycheck, you got to work for it. And, like I said, like running into situations like I've just talked about, you're going to have to push through regardless. Like I said, you could quit your job and try to find a new place to work, or, try to start over somewhere else. But like I said, you can run into the same kind of situation somewhere else. And, what are you going to do? Keep leaving? You're going to keep quitting your job wherever you start over again just because of one person or a few people doing something to you that you just don't like? I mean, you're going to run into it in your life more than you think, more than you expect. So it's important to understand that once you do acquire or get on a, let's say you have a 9-to-5 and you're making money and you're saving money and you're putting some wealth and money aside to invest, you'll finally start to understand that it is a long game. It does take a long time to, get to a place where you're working towards. And with something like crypto, it can make you feel like nothing is ever going to change. It can make you feel like it's hard to move up in life. It's hard to, get to a, like, say you have a goal to buy a car or to buy a house. It can take a long time to get to where that is. But when you invest in crypto, it's not like putting money into a bank account. It can really help you to move up in life, and it can help you level up in life. So when I found crypto, or before I found crypto rather, I was kind of depressed going to work in general. Like when I would go to work, and I knew that I had to work to make money, but the whole idea of money would kind of depress me because I knew just how little purchasing power we have nowadays. Like you make let's say you make $1,000 every 2 weeks. Let's just say what for whatever job that you do. That $1,000 can't take you as far as time goes on. I mean, it's clear that the more time that goes on, the less power that money gives you over whatever you're trying to buy or whatever you're trying to achieve in life. And that can give you such a negative outlook on life, and it could demoralize you. But once I found crypto, I realized, hey, I'm going to work, and I am, working for this money and trying to help myself get ahead in life. But now that I have crypto, I'm a lot more motivated to go to work, and I'm a lot more motivated to acquire that money, because I know that money is going somewhere that has the volatility to get me to that next level in life. And because of that, you can literally leave those people that have disrespected you and treated you horribly behind. You could be working at a job where you really hate the people that you work with, and then let's say you are investing in crypto, and 3, 4, 5 years down the line, you've acquired enough wealth and money through crypto that it got you to a place where you don't need to work at that job anymore. You can go to school or do whatever you want to do, or leave that job and take some time off, or find a job where you don't have to put up with as much stress because you were investing, and because these people, they don't understand that cryptocurrency is the next biggest thing in terms of money. These people that are around you that are so negative and treat you horribly and disrespect you, these aren't the people that are investing in cryptocurrency 9 out of 10 times. These people are miserable themselves, and they're taking it out on you for whatever reason, because they're so miserable in their own lives. So you, as a righteous person, you're going to work, and you're putting the time in, and the effort in, and the labor in, and you're getting that money, you're investing in cryptocurrency, and you're using that money to get ahead, and it will give you the option to leave these people behind one day. And that's so important, guys, because all the slings, all the arrows that they sling at you, that you keep taking on, and you're still sticking it out, you're still, you know, moving forward and not being demoralized by these people that are doing negative things towards you. You're getting this money and you're putting it to the most volatile asset class, and that could help you move, level up in life and move forward in life. And you won't have to deal with these people forever. You can say to yourself, I'm taking this wealth, I'm going to level up in life, and I'm going to get to the next place I want to be. And the idea of crypto and its volatility will motivate you to go to work and get to the next level. And that's so important, guys. That's, you know, that is such a motivator to work and to invest in crypto and invest in markets, because you know that these people that are treating you a certain way, you won't have to deal with them forever. You can, you know, you can take the next step in your life because you found cryptocurrency, and because you've, you know, you have researched in something that a lot of people would deem as scary or deem as, you know, so volatile and so you know, unpredictable. But you did your research in crypto, you knew where you were putting your money, you knew where your hard work and labor and effort was going towards, and that got you ahead in life. And that, you know, that helped you escape from the negativity and the disrespect that these people have given towards you, especially in a workplace environment. Hey, and that even goes for, you know, say you live at home with an abusive family member, or, you know, say you know, have friends and loved ones that, you know, you love them and you care about them, but they continue to treat you in a way that you find to be unacceptable. You know, once you get your hands on enough crypto, or once the markets turn in a way where you become financially free, financially independent, or achieve life-changing wealth, you can make decisions to escape that type of lifestyle and get away from these people that, you know, truly make you feel a way that you don't like feeling. So, you know, that is a goal for a lot of people, just to, you know, level up in life through crypto assets and through, you know, digital assets and cryptocurrency, to get away from these people that, you know, you feel that, you know, you need to escape from. You know, abuse comes in many forms, guys. Like I said, it could be at work, it could be a loved one, it could be a friend. So, you know, the main message of this video is respect. You know, respect does exist in some aspects of life, but a lot of times, in a lot of areas, and a lot of, you know, people that you meet, respect doesn't exist to these people. And once you say to yourself, you know, respect doesn't really exist, it's all situational, and it's all, you know, based on circumstance, you'll start saying to yourself, yeah, like, it doesn't matter if this person or that person treats me in a negative way or in a disrespectful manner. I have a goal. I'm going to keep working towards my goal. I have cryptocurrency on my side. It can free me. It can help me level up and get to the next. It can help me move up in life. And, you know, you won't have to deal with these people forever, because you'll go from 0 to 1 million.